Greetings and welcome to CreatureGeek, the special effects
Greetings.
makeup podcast from the fan and pro perspective. I am Len Peralta.
And I'm Frank Ippolito.
That's right. And
Greetings.
I don't know if there's been any
Greetings.
video on this or not, but it's bright behind me today, which is kind of a strange thing. Doing a rare daytime podcast here.
Yeah, we're recording early because we have a very, very, very special guest.
Yes. So let me do the proper intro. Of course, I always have to intro our guest properly. Today's guest is best known as the character Tory from the very popular Discovery Channel series MythBusters. But on a previous life,
I'm known as the other guy. So wait, you're on that show. So are you like one of those two older dudes? No. You're not the hot redheaded chick, right? And you're not the Asian guy. Yeah, I'm the other dude.
you're that guy. You're the other guy.
Other dude on MythBusters. What's up, guys?
In a previous life, though, our
Yeah.
guest worked at ILM as a model maker on such films as The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Galaxy Quest, and Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. Would you please welcome to Creature Geek, your friend and mine, Mr. Tory Belleci.
Hey,
Sweet.
did you work on
Yes.
Saris's ship?
I worked on Star Wars.
No. On Galaxy Quest, Saris. The
Oh
bad
yeah,
guy.
yeah. I worked.
That ship was so cool.
Yeah, that was a fun. There's like a few movies that I'm like super proud to have worked on. You know, it was like when we were working on the first Star Wars, we were like super psyched because it's Star Wars.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
and,
that
then,
was
and then you found out you work on one of the shitty ones. I worked on one of the good
dude,
ones.
we like it bummed me out because you spend a year of your life working on a movie and you're building really cool stuff, but it's you get some people who are like, no, I love those, the prequels were great, but when you grew up on the originals, the 70s ones,
Yeah.
and then the 80s, it was like you couldn't beat, like, those were the best movies ever.
Yeah. Do you think that we think that movies like that are the best because of nostalgia, or do you think that they actually are?
Well, I just watched Star Wars, the very first, what would that be, number 4, The
Yeah.
New Hope.
Yep.
I think it still holds up. And then even, Empire Strikes Back is still my favorite
Hell yeah.
of all of them. I mean, it's like one of the most epic movies of all time, visually,
Yeah.
story-wise, reveals, it's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Especially
I agree with you. I think. What about you, Len? Is Empire your favorite?
Empire is my favorite, although I did go back and watch Force Awakens, and that's creeping up there as probably one of my favorite Star Wars films.
One of my favorite YouTube channels, it's I don't know, Mr. Plinkett does these like reviews.
Oh yeah.
What the hell? I can't remember what channel it is. Is he on the Screen Junkies channel or something, or does he have his? Oh no, it's Red Letter Media. On YouTube, Red Letter Media, they have this like Mr. Plinkett reviews, blah blah blah, and he does like a bunch of the Star Treks, and he does the Unholy 3. Star Wars 1, 2, and
Yeah.
3. And he just rips them apart, like really, really good. And once you get past this guy's annoying voice online, it's really, really awesome. And he just did a Force Awakens one. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it's pretty good.
Well, Force Awakens, I feel like they were catering to our generation.
It's fan service. It was fan
but
service.
it was great. Like how they use the Force to like stop the laser blast. Like
That was kind of neat.
It was like, well, why didn't they think of that way before? Like
Yeah.
that was
Why
rad.
didn't Darth Vader do that when he got shot at by Han Solo?
Right. But
Oh, because they probably couldn't back then in the
visually they
80s.
couldn't. No, they could have.
They coulda,
I just
yeah.
don't think they thought of it. Like they're
Yeah.
like, whoa, like that was some
Or maybe
out.
Kylo's just that much like crazier than Vader.
Yes and no, because if he was such a badass, how did he get beat so quickly? By like that was my big issue, was like how he got his ass kicked in the end of towards the end of the movie,
Yeah.
where it's like he's supposed to be
Oh,
training and the baddest, and then all of a sudden she just like wakes up and goes, oh, guess what, I have the Force and now I'm better at it than you.
Well, didn't he get shot by Chewbacca? Didn't Kylo Ren get shot by Chewbacca?
I don't think that
Yeah,
was.
didn't like Chewbacca get pissed and start shooting? And
I don't remember.
Yeah,
we were in the shop the other day. We were talking about like
shape.
Chewbacca's bowcaster, and like it sent like stormtroopers flying, but it barely did anything to Kylo.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to watch it again because I like vaguely overheard people in the shop talking about it yesterday.
And my other issue was, why did he take his helmet off in the first movie? Like, he should have kept the moment he took that helmet off, and
You're
it was
like,
like this
"Oh,
long haired, like,
really?
hey, that's the guy from.
It's the hipster kid,
Yeah.
the hipster Jedi.
And it literally just like took all, like when he had that mask on, and that's why Darth Vader was so scary, is because he had this mask on, and it was like, what is underneath that helmet? And then same thing with this. As soon as he took the mask off, all fear, and it was like, oh, it's that dude. I mean, I like that actor; he's a great actor.
Well,
but
you don't pay a gajillion dollars for Adam Driver and then make him wear a mask the whole movie. Why don't you just have a stuntman and then
Well, that's
get
what I'm
James Earl
thinking.
Jones to do the voice?
They could have done that and then revealed him later.
Yeah.
They didn't have to have him reveal himself in the first movie. I think that would have been way scarier.
Yeah, no,
There's a reason why we're seeing him like that. I don't know.
we'll see. We'll see in the next couple of episodes.
Look at you, Lynn, looking on the bright side of things.
I love you, Len. Hey,
Now,
so
I had a question about when you were like, what did you do? You were a model maker on Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. You were working on the ships and stuff like that.
We did everything: ships, sets, pod racers. But it was weird because there was a few models that we worked on that were actually filmed. So, for example, the battleship, the one that looked like a toilet bowl.
yeah,
The big ring with the sphere in the middle.
Oh right, yeah,
the
Federation
the
battleship.
Yeah,
So we built that practically, and it was about 8 feet in diameter, and it took forever to build, and we were just having issues with it. But that was the actual model that went to stage, and we, supported it for actual shots. But a lot of the pod racers, we built models, and then what they did is they scanned them into the computer and then digitally manipulated them. So it was a weird, it was a weird time where practical and digital were trying to figure it out. Like, what do we
Right.
do? Do we do it practically? Do we do it digitally? And so we built all the models digitally, but what they did, or practically, and then they would digitally scan them,
Mm.
and then they could make them fly all over the place.
Now, I had heard somewhere that episode 1, 2, and 3 had more models than any other of the films up till then, but they kept on like promoting like, oh, it's all digital, all digital, all digital. And now with the new one, everybody's like, oh, all this practical, but it's got more digital than any of them.
I think George Lucas was trying to go for that. Like, I made the first all digital movie, and a lot of it was, especially episode 3, the majority of it was. But episode 2, we shot all digital, mostly digital. There was a few shots that we shot with film, and then they scanned those in. But while we were building the Federation battleship, they were touring the Museum of Star Wars Art. And so,
Okay. Oh yeah.
And so they had just gotten back in shipping. The Millennium Falcon had been damaged.
Ooh.
And so all of a sudden they open up this crate, and like, you should have seen the shop. All the guys were just like, we were like nerding out so hard because there was the actual Millennium Falcon, and we had to repair it. And we were just like, oh my God, this is the ship. Like, this is what got us all.
Is it the big like 6 foot?
Yeah.
One? Yeah, I saw that at the archives.
Oh, dude,
so
it was just,
neat.
it was like, we were all geeking so hard. It was like, there it is, the actual Millennium Falcon from the original movies. And, it was just looking at all these model makers, just almost like with tears in their eyes. It was pretty awesome.
That's great.
Who built that original one? Who was that?
It was probably like Steve Golly, and I'm trying to think of who else was. Lauren Peterson was working on that. I'm trying to think of who else was around, because they did the first Star Wars down here in Los Angeles, and then after that was done, then he moved up to the Bay Area and then started Industrial Light and Magic up there.
Gotcha.
Have you seen Brandon Allinger's book that just came out with all of Macquarie's art from the Star Warses?
No.
It's like 19 pounds of. Here, let me grab it.
Of
real quick.
awesome.
Yeah, let me grab it. You
awesome
guys keep talking.
Nerdiness. But one movie that I really like was like one of my like, oh, I'm so glad I worked on that, was Starship Troopers. Even though
For all you people with video, this is how much book
Oh
it
my
is.
gosh.
It's enormous.
That's all Ralph. That's all Ralph
All
McQuarrie
of Ralph
stuff.
McQuarrie's art from all 3 of the
Nice.
films. It's enormous.
Where'd
and
you
it's
get this?
the Amazons.
It's so heavy.
It's like 20 pounds. Like,
It's so.
all
it's
of you
so
people
heavy.
watching this on the YouTubes, like there's Vader
Oh,
skin.
look at that.
Just like giant.
It's
This book.
the original design for Darth Vader's helmet by
It's
Ralph
a
McQuarrie.
little pricey. It's like $200 or something like that.
But totally worth it.
Dude, this is so good. Yeah, it's
heavy.
gorgeous.
So heavy.
You know, the only reason I know Ralph McQuarrie's work, I knew it when I was like 7 years old, and the only reason I really knew it was because of the Star Wars trading cards. They would put his concept art on the trading cards.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. Oh, well, I interrupted you guys. You were talking about some Star Treks.
No, Starship
Yeah,
Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, that was a good.
You worked on Starship Troopers?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. We did the all the Roger Young ships.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Those are
all the
cool. When they
space
break
stations.
apart.
Yes.
Oh, that
dude,
was
we-
such a great
We
scene.
came up with the paint concept that, like, with the bugs, when the bugs hit the ships,
Yeah.
it had this like iridescent blue kind of sheen
Oh,
to
that's
it
so
and
cool.
everything. Yeah, that was probably, even though, I mean, I still, when that movie's on, I'll sit and watch it because it's so over the top. It's so, it's like
Yeah.
perfect Paul Verhoeven, where he just, makes fun of America
Yeah.
in the best way, and it's still like the bugs hold up, the effects hold up, the acting still is cheesy as all. It's
God,
the
yeah.
worst.
Oh,
But it's
Casper
so
Van
good.
Dien.
It's so he's the best. And Denise Richards, like, she
Yeah.
had done a toothpaste commercial before this movie. Like, that's how awesome it is. It's just like, let's just take these
Yeah.
pretty people and get them destroyed by bugs.
Now, the last time I saw Starship Troopers was when Riff Tracks did their, like, made fun of it in theaters. Did you?
Ooh, is it good?
Did you get to see that at all?
No. Is
No.
that, I would love. Was Trace one of them?
No. This is
Tracy,
Bill
or-
Corbett, Kevin Murphy, and Mike Nelson. They do the live riffing.
Oh. Is that
in
available online
theaters,
anywhere?
Through Fathom Events. It was pretty funny.
Can you get that online anywhere?
I think so. Yeah, you can buy it at rifftracks.com. They're not a sponsor. I'm just they're friends of ours.
Yeah.
That was not an ad. I'm just telling
That is
you where
not
you
an
can
ad,
find
but
this
go
cool
to
stuff.
rifftracks.com, download the Starship Troopers VOD, and then you can watch it. It's hilarious.
Dude, I want to.
Dude,
That's awesome.
we did up at Sketchfest in San Francisco. We saw, Movie Interrupted. Doug Benson does a
No.
version, and it was Michael Ian Black, Doug Benson, Zach Galifianakis, and forget who else, but it was the first Twilight movie, and that is the only way to watch, because I had never seen any of these.
I've never seen
movies,
any of
and,
them either.
Like, you just laugh at them from afar. But to sit and watch, like, be in a theater with those guys. Oh, it was Patton Oswalt. He was the other one. And so these four guys are just ripping on this movie. And it was the funniest thing I have ever watched and heard, because that movie is ridiculous and you couldn't watch it any other way. But it was like, I hope somebody's recording this, because it was literally like, this is the best way to watch these movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
They destroyed them.
Yeah, that sounds good. So what are you up to now these days? You're playing some new Netflix games?
Got some stuff we're doing.
Yeah, tell us about your Netflix doodle that's going on.
Yeah, so we just finished shooting a show called The White Rabbit Project, and it will be up in December 9th. It's going to be up.
Ooh, that's soon.
Yeah, totally. And we shot from January to around July. So we were shooting here in actually downtown LA. And it's Carrie, Grant, and myself. So it's kind of like a reunion from MythBusters. We're back together again. And
was it kind of a middle finger to Discovery?
No, it was like it was just like okay, this is nice. At least we, it sucked to leave MythBusters, and we were all just kind of like, you guys, what, like, why is this happening? We're a part of the show. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Once that was done, it was like, you know what? It's time to move on. And then when this Netflix thing came by, it was just like, this is perfect. It all worked out great. So what we're doing, we had 10 episodes, and each episode is going to have a theme, whether it's, speed freaks, superhero powers. So it's like really geeky, techie science stuff. And we each look at kind of weird things in that theme.
Mm-hmm.
for example, like I built a 1902 electric car. So like back in the 1900s, cars were electric; they weren't gas powered yet. And
In a fake world, or like
no, in a real world, like I rebuilt. I did a a replica of a 1902 land speed car
really?
that this guy, Baker, built this car, crashed it, so he never got to break the world record.
Yeah.
Because he crashed. So we rebuilt it and took it out and tested it, and so it's just we're doing like really cool. I race a guy in a jetpack. I have a 4-wheel drive truck, and he's got a jetpack, and we do this race. I mean, it's just just ridiculous stuff in science. So I think people are gonna be like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, so unlike MythBusters, where you're trying to disprove something, it sounds like you are trying to you have a concept, and then you are just like going down that rabbit hole, like figuring out everything. Okay,
and it's kind of, I mean, the thing that it's totally different than MythBusters. It looks totally different, but it's like historical things that happen, and it's like, could it have happened? How did it happen? And so what we're doing is, instead of urban legends, we're looking at legends that are historically accurate, and we're going back and going, how did they do this? Did they really do this? And we're recreating them and seeing whether or not it did happen.
It's super cool.
I'll watch it.
I have a
Thanks, man.
I'm super excited about it.
Are you gonna watch it?
I have a
Are you gonna give us 4 stars?
I do. I'll give you 4 stars right
good.
now. Well,
Well, you can't give it to him
I have
now. He's not on now.
MythBusters is
Haven't
such
seen it
an
yet.
important show to me. Just because I was friends with all you guys, and we did some really cool stuff together, art wise. So it's great to see you guys back together again and doing cool stuff. Now, I also know that weren't you doing something with Carrie as far as roller coasters and things like that?
Yeah. So last year, Travel Channel approached us, and they wanted to do a show where she and I go around the country looking at the science of thrill rides. So we went all over the country riding roller coasters. It didn't suck. But then they wanted to amp it up. So we went to Vegas, and we went in they have these stunt plane, stunt flyers. Oh, that was the worst.
Like stomach churning.
They literally took me up to 8.5 G's, and they G locked me. Basically, they knock you out, because what's happening is there's so many G's on your body that all the blood rushes out of your head, and you go to sleep. And I've never had that happen before, and it was literally the most messed up experience.
Well, how does the pilot?
Because they are
they in like pressure suits?
They're
or something?
trained. No, they're just trained, and so they do all these exercises where they're like, and they tighten up their muscles in their core to keep the blood in their brain.
Jeez.
But because I asked him that, I go, what if you black out? Like, what if you pull too many G's? He's all, what happens is, if we're pulling that many G's, we want to get as high as possible, so that way, if we do black out, by the time we wake up, we could still maneuver out of a crash. I'm like, that's comforting.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, I passed out. Oh, okay, I'm at 2,000 feet. I should have enough time to pull up.
Oh man.
Yeah, those guys are nuts.
So the show did it or did not air?
It did air, but like Travel Channel didn't really promote it. Carrie and I were doing most of the promotion, and then what happened was
What happened?
What had happened was, apparently some of the footage hadn't been licensed, so they had to pull it off the air.
Oh.
So there's some episodes I think you could still find on demand. I'm not sure, but it was just one of those things where it was like, this was such a fun show. Why did it not? Like, why can't let's keep doing this show?
Yeah, what's for those who want to go down that rabbit hole and try to find that show? What's it called?
Thrill Factor.
Okay.
Thrill Factor,
Thrill
and
Factor.
I don't know where it could be found.
Hey,
I was kind of hoping that you guys would come to Sandusky and go to Cedar Point, because I would have gone out there and met you guys.
Yeah, everybody kept saying, because as we were doing the show, we were tweeting about where we were at, and we were at we went to Wisconsin Dells, which is a trip, and then we went to Santa Claus, Indiana.
Okay.
Oh.
There's a town called Santa Claus, Indiana.
There's also a Hell, Michigan.
Is that yeah?
Yeah, there's a Hell, Michigan.
Is it like a big Christmas place in Indiana?
Yeah.
Or?
And,
Okay.
and you're like driving in the middle of nowhere. It's all like farmland, and all of a sudden you turn around this bend, and there's like a huge amusement park. And they just
That's
spent
weird.
like $22 million on this brand new roller coaster out in the middle of farmland. I mean, there's literally like hardly any population out there, but everybody comes.
Santa Claus, Indiana.
Yeah.
And it's a Christmas themed roller coaster.
Yes. The whole they call it Holiday Land.
Oy.
Yeah. So there's like
That's kind of creepy, actually.
Thanksgiving land. Like there's a Halloween town and Thanksgivingville, and yeah.
Now, it's October. Why aren't you chunking any pumpkins right now? Do you have any pumpkins in your car? Can we go out in the parking lot and throw some pumpkins?
I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything about that yet. There's a chance that we could be going out there and throwing pumpkins
In the parking lot?
here in beautiful Los Angeles, in North Hollywood.
Yeah, we're going to be launching at the airport.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, there's an airport right by. We're just trying to hit the airport.
They're doing pumpkin chunking this year, and we may.
Is that just like a big potato gun?
Yeah, the air cannons are. Except instead of using engine igniter starter, it's just compressed air. But these cannons are on the back of big rig trucks, and they shoot pumpkins almost a mile. Like it's ridiculous.
Like, how does it not obliterate the pumpkin?
Well, that's the big deal. Like they call it pieing. If it comes out of the contraption, whether it's a catapult or the air cannon, and if it breaks into a bunch of pieces, it's pied and then it's disqualified. They pick very small, hard pumpkins, and that's how they.
Oh, they're not like putting one of them like
No,
world's
one of
largest
those big-
pumpkin and chucking that.
No.
Oh, see, that's what I want to see. I want to see him like throwing like pumpkins the size of like your
No, the
torso,
county fair pumpkins.
lighted on fire. Yeah.
Dude, I have always wanted to do that because down Half Moon Bay, which is just about 20 minutes south of San Francisco, they have this giant pumpkin competition every year, and these things are like 1,600 pounds. I mean, they're these massive.
Let's catapult one of those.
No, I want to
build a trebuchet
I want
or
to
something.
hollow one out and fill it with black powder, like fill it up and see what and blow it up. Like, no, I've never seen that, and I want to see it.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it could be the black powder pumpkin patch experiment.
Yes. Just
So-
everybody stand back.
It's enormous pumpkins filled with black powder, and then you just blow up the entire patch.
See, these are the things I think of.
Yeah. That sounds great.
I got a lot
I'd
of
be
good
into it.
ideas.
I'd
If
be
you
into
ever
it.
want to, if you ever need some ideas, I have a lot of good ideas.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're done shooting your
The
Netflix
White
show,
Yep, the White Rabbit
White
Project,
Rabbit.
December 9th.
December
Like
9th
that
on
plug.
Netflix.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now?
So Carrie and I actually are developing a show. It's kind of a science fiction-y type of show.
Like a
Oh.
TV show?
Yeah, like a TV show.
Nice.
Like episodic? Like
I can't say much
all
about
right,
it yet,
all right.
but just this is an idea we've had for years, and we've pitched it around, and finally we have somebody who's looking at it very seriously.
neat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
we're
cool.
super psyched because
Now, is this something that you're hoping to direct? Because I know you've
no.
tinkered around with directing and
this
stuff.
This is something that it's kind of like she and I are going to be pranking people. So this is totally.
Oh, all right.
It's we'll be hosting it and developing the show, but it's not like a.
Oh, I thought you
scripted-
meant like
it's
a
not
scripted.
Oh,
okay.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does this have anything to do with our friend Catherine Nelson?
Not per se. Why?
Okay. Oh, because I would just
Did you
I
see
just
her? Have you talked to her?
I just actually talked to her online last
Okay.
night.
Okay.
So I was trying to figure out where it was if you were connecting old dots again.
No, this isn't. But we love Catherine Nelson, and she's over at Sci-Fi, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
She's her show is now it's Mr. Robot, which is pretty cool.
Which is awesome.
I haven't seen it. I heard it's pretty good.
Have you? Oh, let's pause for a second and go back a step.
Yes.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Yeah,
You've seen-
we
yeah.
talked about that.
You
a little
nerded
bit.
out.
Oh
on
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. My big problem with it is the creature.
Yeah.
The creature sucks. Like you think about like an 80s sci-fi or 80s horror movie creature, like they have these like really great iconic like silhouettes, like Pumpkinhead is like,
dude,
like
I was thinking
on
the same
the
exact
top,
thing.
the top of my list for that era.
100%.
And this thing gives me no feels the way Pumpkinhead did.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the fact that they showed it so much.
Yeah, I mean, they showed Pumpkinhead a lot in that movie, but it just made it awesome.
I feel like it would have been cooler to show parts of him as opposed to like, here I am.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where like a lot of creature designers these days are they just draw everything on the computer, and it's just all this. It just looks like CG horse shit.
Yeah.
That's like, hey, let's make its legs bend backwards, and let's like it doesn't feel like
a real.
Although I thought the flower face felt kind of Botine-esque.
Yeah, but it didn't tie into anything else in the creature's being or anatomy. It was just like, hey, this is kind of a neat idea. Let's stick it on his face.
Yeah, I guess so. You also didn't like Winona Ryder either.
Oh, Winona Ryder sucked balls in that.
Yeah, she took me out of it as well. Yeah. Like it was like
I love Winona Ryder, so I
love her too, but like
I loved her in like Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Or Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, she had her era, and I think we're past it.
But yeah. And Heathers.
Oh, and Heathers.
Good in that.
You know what was weird?
It did. It took me out of it. It was like, oh, look, there's Winona Ryder again.
Acting crazy again.
You know what sort of freaked me out a little bit when I saw the original, like the reboot of Star Trek, the very first one?
Yeah.
She plays Spock's mom in that.
Oh,
and
okay.
It sort of freaked me out a little bit because I'm like, she's my age. Like, why is she playing like an old woman?
Right.
It was kind of weird that
ruined
like.
It.
It's kind of like, you've kind of
Ryder
moved
ruining
past
movies.
It,
No. She just needs to find like, because I think she's a great actress, but it's it's like watching that show. It was just like, oh, whoa, it's Winona Ryder. I haven't seen her in forever, and so like every time she was on the screen, it was like, oh look, there's how she looks. Wow, okay, like it totally took me out of it.
She doesn't look like Lydia from Beetlejuice anymore.
Right, bummer.
But Matthew Modine, he was like solid. It was like, throwback to the 80s.
Yeah. I just watched the first episode of Westworld.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
good.
Like it.
Yeah. It's good. It is good.
I wanted to hate it because I heard so much drama about the production and how long it was taking. I've heard that it was just like a mess production. I actually got to build some stuff for a couple of the episodes that it's not on yet.
What'd you build? Can you say?
Some, like
That's
specialty
rad.
costume parts, some like wardrobe parts.
Yeah. Okay.
I got it through our buddy Doug Stewart. He was working on
he was browning it up, man.
Yep. He was painting a lot of things brown, and he got me to build some things. So yeah, but man, I was ready to be like, this is stupid. It was fucking great.
That's awesome.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I like the way they told the story.
Yeah.
Like it could have gone really, really bad.
Yeah.
But the story is very, very good. And the other thing too that I was talking to my wife about was like the subtlety of the acting. Because the one thing is obviously Westworld, they're all androids. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to ride that line of like, I am an android and you're moving like the robot, like you're dancing like the robot.
They're not supposed
but
to be.
the acting is so subtle. Like I don't think I'm spoiling anything here, but Anthony Hopkins plays one of the main guy who creates these androids, and he basically talks to them like they're computers. Mm-hmm. Run your previous program kind of thing. And so what these actors have to do is they have to change their facial expression in such a way that it looks like they're accessing something, and then they start to act again as if they've accessed that.
That's
so
cool.
it was a very subtle thing, but I really appreciated the acting of the androids because you felt like, they are not real. They are synthetic. The other thing they did, which I thought was really, really interesting, is Anthony Hopkins is talking to this old kind of grizzled prospector type guy.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't tell if that was an animatronic or an actor.
That's what I was wondering too.
Oh, that's so good. I don't know what it is.
I couldn't tell. Well, here's what I was.
Couldn't tell.
Yeah.
You've tricked me, Hollywood.
Yeah, no, but that's what we want.
Thing.
We want that magic.
Yeah. No, I know, but I just love you. Like, what is it? I need to know.
Well, I think they did. I think because he something's wrong with him, and he keeps sort of like buzzing or something. and I couldn't tell if they did something with him, like with the actual footage of him, to make him look like he's stuttering or something.
It could
Oh,
be.
that's cool.
But that's the way. I mean, it's probably an actor with prosthetics on that was digitally like tweaked.
right.
Yeah.
Which is the way it. Which is great.
Yeah.
If
It's the way it
that's what it
should
is.
be.
It's great. They did
Yeah.
it great.
Well, like the demon in Ash versus Evil.
Yeah.
How it was like,
Oh, the little jittery thing? Oh, yeah, that was
I was
awesome.
like, dude, you just took a monster that, you know, if it was in real time, it would look like a cheesy rubber suit. But the fact that it's all tweaking and
Yeah.
jiggly, it's like, oh, you hid, you know, you created this real thing for me.
Oh yeah, Ash vs. Evil Dead was great. I think is the new ones out yet?
Yeah.
I haven't
Yes,
watched
they
them.
are out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta watch those. They're good.
So is it anything like the movie though? I heard it's not. They've
No,
It
no.
feels like they
Departed
kind of
from-
reference. This is they kind of reference it like something about that was 30. Nothing's broken down in 30 years.
yeah.
So it almost feels like it's still in the same universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, I think once we get more episodes in, it might make sense. I want to rewatch the original.
They should have.
Yes,
They should
yeah.
have like a. Did they have a robot that looks like Yul Brenner?
I haven't.
They
seen it
should.
yet.
They should. Like that would
They
make.
should.
That would be the ultimate. Like
But Ed Harris is great in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, can I just say I was like a little kid when Westworld came out, and I don't even remember if it was like a TV movie or an actual movie. I just remember it
No,
was
it's a
on
movie
TV.
movie.
well, you probably because I saw it on TV. It was a movie, but back
They put it-
then,
okay,
they would
yeah,
put it on
okay.
TV,
yeah. I think I watched it on like TV.
I
like
just
TBS or
remember
something
Yul
like that.
Brenner's face
Opening
coming
up.
off.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was like mind blowing.
It was like that's like the weirdest thing, and I was like 5 or 6 years old seeing this thing and being like, "What the heck is going on? How did they do that? Amazing work."
and just that whole thing of now he's out of control and he's trying to kill people, like
Yeah.
the people who were there, and it was like, oh, this is so dark. I love it.
Yeah. Did you guys see
Well,
the
you know,
the
the other
sculptor?
thing I was thinking about was there's they're drinking milk in this. They're drinking milk.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I went back to Alien, the original Alien, when they
Oh,
when
yeah.
they
The androids would bleed, they
they
milk,
bleed
right?
this
That
milky
white
substance.
Yeah, right.
And I think that was, I want to say, I don't know for sure, but I want to say that was an homage to the androids in Alien. I don't know. It could
I
be.
don't know.
But that's the very first thing I thought was that weird white stuff that
Yeah.
they would throw
That
up.
spews out of every
Out of Bishop and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
milk
Gross.
bath,
Yeah. Nothing grosser than milk in that context, you know.
all covered all over your
Oh.
body.
Oh
Mm.
yeah. Oh, did you guys see that sculptor Nick Mara? He did a Yul Brenner from Westworld, and he had it at Monsterpalooza like a year ago, and it
No.
was like dead nuts on like Yul Brenner, and the face opened up and then closed back.
Oh
It
no,
was
that's
like
sick.
it's great. I think it Tested might have a video with it.
Oh,
It's
that's
so
super
good.
cool.
Yeah. Westworld.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you
great.
brought that up. I'm glad. I was so happy. I hadn't been able to talk to anybody about it
Oh,
because I ended up
Westworld? Yeah.
watching it real late at night, and
Yeah, I
my wife
watched-
went to bed, and I'm like, oh, this is really good. This is really good.
It's really good.
You know, let's go back for a second, and I know you're part of MythBusters. Give us some of like your favorite memories of working on that show, because it's funny. My kids are watching it now through Hulu and Netflix and everything else, and so they're catching up to all these shows, and you know, there's a lot as I was watching it with them. There's a lot that I had not seen.
Yeah.
Because there are so many shows, so many
Yeah,
things.
I think it's like over 300 episodes or something like that. And
Yeah, it's nuts.
And you know,
So-
we'll go to these conventions and people are like, okay, in episode, it was like that Saturday Night Live skit where it was like the evil Captain Kirk. In episode 46, you did this. Why did you do that? And he's like, what? What are you talking about? And that's what happens where we'll get these, kids who are watching it now or even, adults. And it's just like, in episode this, you were testing this. What was the outcome again? And it was like, oh my God, I don't even remember. I have to go back. Because we did, like, there were so many things. But the things that stood out, there were moments. Like when we blew up the cement truck. This was like it was like season 1 of MythBusters. And we learned very quickly that when in doubt, blow shit up. And it
Is that how ratings work?
No, it seriously did. It was like we came up with the formula where it was like, okay, we're testing if concrete sets up in a drum of a truck. The guy goes in and tries to chip it out. He decides to throw dynamite in it to break it up, and he blows up the truck. And so we tested it, and we were throwing like 1 stick of dynamite, 2. We got up to like 10 sticks of dynamite. Nothing was happening to the truck, and it was just like, okay, we've broken the concrete, but this is like, we have no story. This isn't a great ending. So they're like, well, what if we filled the whole truck with explosives? What would that look like? And that's kind of where it was like, ding, hey, blowing stuff up is pretty good for our ratings.
And then they put you behind that really thin wall.
No, we were, so for that episode, we were a mile away from the actual event.
Oh, right.
And the truck was on this hill at this quarry, and we could see it, and they did the countdown, and all of a sudden it was just like evaporated. It was like this big explosion and just dust, right? But then 2 seconds later, it felt like somebody punched you in the chest. It was like the shockwave.
From a mile away.
And yeah, a mile away. And that was the moment it was like, whoa, like this is real. Like this is no joke. Like you see in the movies, a bomb goes off and people are just like still running and like nothing happened. But it's like we were a mile away and it still felt like, somebody punched you in the chest and was like, jeez, dang. So if you ever have a chance to be close
to an explosion,
cement truck, I highly recommend it.
Was there any time when you felt like, oh man, this
danger
is gonna get
for my life?
You were gonna not walk out of that chute?
Yes, all the time. I look back at the time. I didn't, I was like, oh, this could be interesting. But looking back, like we were testing, do crocodiles? If you were getting chased by a crocodile, could you get away by zigzagging? Because they can't. They can only run in a straight line. And so they're like, how would you feel about going down to Florida and getting into these, pens with alligators and crocodiles and trying to get them to chase you? And I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. And in hindsight, like I could have gotten mangled on these things because, you have this giant reptile that I'm poking with the stick and it's hissing at me. And I'm looking at everybody, the producers and the alligator wrangler, the crocodile wranglers, and they're like, no, poke it, get it to chase you. And I'm like, who's in charge here? Like, this is the dumbest idea. This is the stupidest idea. Why are we, But in a production meeting, it's like, yeah, that sounds good until the day of, and you're staring down at a crocodile trying to eat you, and you're like, why? Why did I say yes to this? One time we were doing red flag to a bull. And so I was like, what if we dress up in different colored jumpsuits and run across a field and see which color the bull goes after, right? To see if red infuriates the bull. And so we got it narrowed down that it wasn't color. It wasn't human figures. It was movement. Movement is what caused the bull to go after people. And so we were so confident that I suited up in a red jumpsuit and stood in the middle of a bull pen, and they would let these giant bulls out, and they would like come charge at me, and they were just like, don't move. But if they do get too close, you can push their head down because they don't have a very sharp turning radius. So you just put your hand on their head and just kind of push them out of the way, and they won't hit you. And I'm thinking to myself, if that is an option where I have to actually touch a bull's head, this is a stupid idea.
Yeah, that assumes that you're going to have enough time.
I don't want to have any contact with the bull, whether it's me pushing its head out of the way or getting run over by it.
So did the show just turn into How Can We Kill Tory?
It felt like that. It was like, why are we doing this? Like, because you never say no.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start saying no to these stupid things.
I just remember a couple episodes where Grant felt like he didn't like tight spaces or something, and he would start freaking out.
Yeah. Or fish on his feet. He doesn't like fish on his feet.
Or the rats. I think you poured rats on him, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. He was in rat. Yeah, we did. It would smell of fear. And so each of us got into the coffin. We made this plexiglass coffin, and whatever our biggest fear was, they would throw into. So mine was snakes.
Right.
Snakes. I hate snakes. So I'm laying in this coffin and they're just dumping snakes and then they shut it. And so the snakes are like going up into my shirt and they're like burrowing into my leg. I'm just like, ah! But Grant was rats and they crapped all over him. That was funny.
Nice.
And then Carrie had scorpions. We dumped, like 40 scorpions in the coffin.
That's very cruel.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I don't want any of that. Nope.
I think it would be just mice for me. Like if you just like threw like mice and let them crawl.
That would freak. That's your.
I think
freak
so.
out.
Yeah.
That would-
Because
that would
spiders,
freak
like
you over the
spiders,
edge.
don't bother me. My family's like, kill the spider. I'm like, big deal. It's a spider, or like a bug or something. But like mice,
Yeah, I don't like bugs.
ugh.
Yeah. Well, back to my fear of snakes. We were doing another episode. It was animal repellents. So we're like, okay, to keep snakes out of and this is like an Australian thing. To keep snakes out of your tent or your whatever, you put a rope around your tent, and they don't like the feeling of going over the rope, or hot chili peppers, whatever. We had a whole bunch of them. So we had the snake handler come in with this boa, and after we were done with the experiment, they're like, we want to do a promo for the show. We want the snake. You're holding the snake, and you say, oh, coming up on MythBusters, we see if we can keep snakes out of your campsite or whatever. And the handler's got it on my back, and it's right next to my face, hissing. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like a good idea. And it's all, and I go, get it. I'm like, I think it's time you get it off me. Like, I don't think the snake is happy. So the handler pulls it off. As soon as he pulls it off, it bites him twice. It just went boom, boom. And the guy's just gushing blood. I was like, see, this is why I don't like snakes. Because they're like, oh, they're friendly. I'm like, this one's not friendly. He's ready to attack.
He's pissed.
And he bit his handler. I was like, see, this is why I don't like snakes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Well, it's a good show. It was
Yeah.
really fun to watch. You get hurt.
It's always fun to watch a grown man get hit in the balls.
yeah.
And
I
that
mean,
happened a lot.
that's what America's Funniest Home Videos is built
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Grown men getting hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jackass. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
Jackass
that's why
is so
Jackass works.
So
Yeah.
good to watch.
Yeah. Why not?
Now, do you ever want to go back to the ILM days? Do you ever want to go back to being a model maker? And
Yeah.
You miss the
there's-
simpler times.
I miss the sitting there at your desk and just having days to build something cool. Yeah, I do miss those.
Well, shit, you can come work for me.
Yeah.
I'll give you a table back there, make you build some shit.
I can come and build some shit here.
Yeah.
Well,
I got more work than I know what to do with right now. I've been texting the whole episode trying to get an animatronics guy in here for the next job I have.
Tory's right there. He's extra.
He's dumb. He's multitasking.
He's a pair of hands.
No, I just built a dummy head. I had a head cast done over at K&B Studios. So we did this show for Travel Channel.
Wait, why didn't you call me, dude?
Well, I didn't know you then.
All right.
And I knew Howard for years. So
All right.
So I was like, hey, Howard, we're doing this show. They want to look at special effects makeup. He's like, yeah, come up to the shop. So he did a head cast, and he did his version of Possessed Ash. So it was like he was like, this is the way he's like, I felt like the one we did in Evil Dead was just too cartoony. He's like, this is the one that was more realistic on what I wanted to do. So he did that on me. So I had this cast. And a buddy of mine was doing this movie. It's called Chuck Hank and the San Diego Twins. And these are the guys who did Bellflower, this really cool indie film. And so they were doing this scene, and I was like, I want to die in your movie. And I go, I have a fake head of myself. And so they're like, okay, yeah, we'll figure something out. So I got a chance to like go back to my special effects roots and build, off this head cast. I got to make an actual dummy head of myself, which I'd never done to this level. It was like always latex and a crappy wig.
Yeah.
Where this time I actually got to like dig in and like make it look as cool as possible. And then, so we shot the scene where I get killed in this movie.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for more effect stuff, like, and if you're not busy the next couple of weeks, I'll put you to work. I'm not joking.
Yeah,
I need crew right now. You want to sling some clay or make a mold?
I'm looking for some workers. Dang it! I just got a job.
Yeah,
Came
I
in
just-
for a podcast and I got a job.
There's all kinds of stuff back there. He's unionized,
that's
right?
awesome.
He's-
No, I'm not. This isn't a union shop. I can't afford that.
Dude, you guys are cranking though. You got so much stuff
got,
that I
like-
can't talk about in your shop right
Well,
now.
the one thing I'll say is that I'm building a lot of stuff for Blizzard right now.
You can't talk about that.
That's about as much as I could say.
That's about it.
Is that it?
That's about it. Yeah, I'm building some stuff for Blizzard. One thing will be at BlizzCon.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all you can say.
I don't think I'll be at BlizzCon. I
That's
am.
it. Oh, you heard
I'm
it
going to
here.
be in Tennessee at a convention called ME2 multi. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble because I didn't get it right. Let me.
Frank obviously doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, there it's me2con.org.
Oh, so did Frank tell you we ran into him at Dragon Con?
Well, we
knew-
ran into each other,
It,
completely obliterated
like we
outside
were-
of an elevator.
We were like planning to meet up at Dragon Con, and it just so happened that we were at the hotel, and he comes stumbling out dressed like a Ghostbuster.
Yep.
And it was just like the best. It was like, and that was the first time I actually met you in person.
in person. Yeah, we've been like
'cause we had
texting and
talks,
stuff for
yeah.
a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was just like Frank. Oh, Dude, like what a way to like meet
Yeah,
somebody.
it completely obliterated at Dragon
At
Con
Dragon
at
Con.
like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sort of bummed out when I found out you and Carrie were going to be there because I'm like,
I
didn't see you guys.
You know,
in a while.
I just turned in my guest application. They asked me to fill out an application again, so
Oh.
maybe we'll go do the podcast there again next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Dragon Con is
Oh yeah,
Dragon Con, yeah, it's my favorite.
dude, that is like I forgot we haven't been there for 8 years, and so Carrie and I are just like, oh, like is anybody even going to show up to our panel? Because you just never know.
Yeah, but didn't you guys announce your new show there? Or
Yes.
something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like such a perfect place to do that. And just,
I had a panel opposite of you, and I was like empty, and I was like, oh, they're all over there with.
yeah,
Tory.
right.
I did.
Yeah,
I swear.
right.
I did.
But yeah, it was. Dragon Con is the best, right? 'Cause
Oh, it's my
fan
favorite.
driven,
Yeah,
and
hands down.
it's not the industry hasn't like put a
Sucked-
chokehold,
Sucked all the fun out of
Not
it.
yet.
Hasn't turned into yeah. But okay, so I'm gonna be in Tennessee November 4th through 6th at Multiverse Entertainment Expo
Nice.
ME2. That's what it's
Sweet.
called.
Very good.
So if you go to me2con.org, you can see about that.
There
I
we
think I'm
go.
gonna do some.
Where is it? Which
It's
city?
in Tennessee. It's like in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. My friend Sarah is the one that's kind of coordinating this. She's the one that she dresses up like Pam Poovey from Archer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she's the best Pam.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'll be BlizzCon weekend. But
Excellent.
my crew will be at BlizzCon and they'll have stuff there.
They'll be running around
BlizzCon in it.
like
Yep.
maniacs.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do at these.
That's right.
conventions.
Be a maniac.
You run
Yeah.
around like a maniac.
Um
Buy stuff.
So
buy
Way
things.
Too much.
the White Rabbit Project on Netflix
Ye-
coming out December 9th.
December 9th.
So
Yes.
add it to your
Yes.
your list of things to watch. Of
Please watch
It's
it.
gonna
Give
be
it 4
awesome.
Give
stars.
it
Lots
4
of love.
stars.
if you're a fan
I
of
hope
Tory
so.
and I don't want to say the build crew because you were part of the cast.
No, wait, but that's what
Yeah.
we are. We were the other guys.
You'll love it.
We were the other. Well, you guys, it was we're wrapping up. It
I,
feels
th-
it
I
feels
think
like
that
we're
that's where
wrapping
Len.
up.
Yeah, Len's going
Yeah,
to the wrap up
yeah.
section. Len, let's wrap it up. B.
Yeah, this was good. It was nice to see you again, Len, even if through Skype.
Yeah.
And Frank, a pleasure as usual. I think I just got a job, so I'm gonna go get my tools. And,
Yeah.
Do you want to Frank? Do you want to read our dudes, our Patreon
Yeah.
subscribers, and thank them?
Yeah. Thanks to everybody that's kicking in on the tip jar we call Patreon. We have my 2 favorite persons in the whole entire universe, Jason Moore and Eric
give it up for
Seglum.
Jason Moore
And Eric Seglum.
and Eric Seglum.
Seglum. Yeah.
Seglum.
Yeah, we love them. And then Simon Hollick, Brian Warner, Gerard Libby, Sarah Thompson, Charles Babbage, Eddie Haleko,
Eddie.
Ricardo Murillo, Eric Mullins, Raymond Stanek, and Donato Sinacco.
the 3rd.
Yay.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, everybody. And thank you, Tory, for being a part of today's Creature Geek.
Yeah.
Tory Belleci, are you ToryBelleci.com? Are you, where can we find you?
Yeah. Yep. ToryBelleci.com. Tory Belleci at Twitter or at Instagram. All that good stuff. But yeah, you can go to my website.
Nice. You can also find Frank Ippolito and me, Len Peralta, on Twitter at those names, and also respectively our URLs, frankippolito.com and lenperalta.com. Thank you very much for Tested for giving us a home here. We love you guys. Thank you very much. And if you have anything you want to say, go to tested.com or write me at len@creature-geek.com, and we'll write you back. Our blog is creature-geek.com, and of course our Patreon is patreon.com/CreatureGeek. Tory Belleci, thank you very much for being a part of Creature Geek. We will see you on the next episode, probably next week. Take care, everybody.
Sweet.
That was awesome.
So how often do you guys do this? This is interesting to me.
We do this like 3 times a month.
Three
times
times a
a
month? Okay. And then do you always have a guest, or do you just...
Most of the time. Next week, we probably will not have a guest. It'll probably just be me and Len yapping about haunted houses and Halloween stuff.
Cool.
Yes.
We've had a string of guests kind of flake on schedule.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes it's a little challenging. You schedule someone, and like
Very
they'll shoot me a text, be like, "Hey, I can't make it." All right, Len, we got to figure out what we're doing tomorrow.
Gotcha.
All right.
That's it? You done? You got to go take care of the kids?
I got to go. I got to get ready for another podcast I'm doing this afternoon.
Oh, well, look at you. Just double dipping. You're just like a podcast whore.
Yeah, no, every Friday I'm a guest on I'm a guest on this podcast called Daily Tech News Show, and I just draw the main story.
Oh, cool.
So they have me kind of in the background, and by the end of the show I have an original piece of art.
That's rad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I do it every Friday.
That is awesome.
So I got to get ready to do that.
Well, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
And I'll watch White Rabbit, and we'll be in touch.
Okay.
It's been too long.
Yeah,
so.
totally.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.